even just in the last couple of years, I've seen like what's going on in Southern Illinois as far as recovery, man. And there's like a lot of good stuff going on here now, you know, where there was nothing before. You know, these guys, the Darkhorse Ministries, like, you guys make a big difference in people's lives, man. And I've seen them, like he said, like we've gotten them a couple scholarships and a couple other people down into treatment in Florida, and they're doing wonderful today. And you know, thank God for, you know, Darkhorse, you know, snatching them up like they do. They literally do snatch them up. It's pretty crazy. It's like OG style. You know? Kind of scared of them. It's good, man, because we need people like that. You know, if I just snatch people up, people might look at me different. But you guys got the leather jackets on, so it's okay. But, you know, I started putting my recovery before anything, man. I started putting my recovery literally before anything. Again, I get a job at Little Caesars down in South Florida. Again, I just can't stay away from Little Caesars at this point. And like, they make me assistant manager there, and I'm making a whole $8.10 an hour. And you know, I was taking 2 buses to work, 2 buses home from work, and I kept putting my recovery first. I reconnected with God. I was praying every morning, every night, going to my sponsorship family meeting, going to my Narcotics Anonymous meetings, being involved. I literally had Saturday night chair commitment at my home group for 9 months straight. I had that commitment because I knew if I wasn't in there at 10 p.m. at night, chairing a meeting, being of service, I was probably outside doing something stupid. You know, and I don't mean drugs, just being unspiritual, you know. So I got involved as much as possible. And my life started to change, man. Like, I put God first and recovery first, and God provided for me. You know, like, a lot of people get clean, they're like, oh man, I need the job, man, I need the job, I need the wife, I need the house, I need all these material things. And no, man, slow down. Put your recovery first. Get connected with a higher power, like I say, I call God, and God provides, man. I've never seen anybody take every single suggestion in recovery and say, man, I ended up getting high. It just doesn't happen. It really doesn't happen. Every single suggestion, people might say they took every single suggestion, but there was something they were missing, you know? And I've seen everybody blame their problems on everybody else. I had to accept where I was wrong, man. I accepted every single thing that I did wrong, and I was willing to change. You know, through working the steps and things like that. Narcotics Anonymous changed my life, man. Narcotics Anonymous is what brought me closer to God. Because honestly, like, I felt when I was going to church, and there's some churches that are, you know, that's why I think what Darkhorse is doing is amazing. Like, and I think that, you know, Chrissy talks about it a lot too, that like some churches that you go in, like, you get that stare, man. You get that stare, like, what's wrong with you? You say, you have a shirt that says heroin on it? Yeah, read the first part, bro. But like, it's crazy, man. But that's the reality of how a lot of churches are, and I think that, you know, it's getting to be more accepting. I can tell you that Darkhorse, and I can tell you that when I went to Family Worship Center, holy cow, man, that was awesome. That was wild. The Connect Point Church out in Anna, like, there's some good churches out there. I'm just saying, like, when I obviously was in active addiction, like, I didn't feel like I was welcome. You know, like, I didn't want to, like, weird anybody out. We have no self-worth, no self-confidence at that point. You know, we're beaten, broken, scared. But I needed those people to lift me up, and they did that in Narcotics Anonymous. And, you know, I went from working at the Little Caesars to working at Hot Dogopolis. Working at Hot Dogopolis, I was pretty much slinging hot dogs for a living. And at $9 an hour. So I went from the 8.10 to the 9. I put my recovery first. I keep grinding in recovery, man. I'm so involved that, like, a lot of people that put the job before the recovery, they lose the job, they lose their recovery. They put the girl before their recovery. Lose the girl, lose the girl, lose your recovery. You know, I hate to say it, you can't even put your kids before your recovery. Because if you don't got recovery, you won't have your kids. You know what I mean? It's just the truth. And I've seen it so much, and I know people love their kids, and I know people love their wife, and I know people love their parents, but it's got to happen, man. Because you know what? Like, recovery made me the son, you know, made me the friend, made me the person that God put me on this earth to be, you know. And God provides for me today, man. I went from working at the hot dog place to working or getting a scooter, and I would like throw my buddies on the back of the scooter and ride to meetings in South Florida. You can already imagine. I'm like, me. So I'm going to meetings, and my buddies asked me for a ride. I would throw them on the back of the scooter, and then like I went from I'm sorry, I have ADD so bad, and I went from having the scooter to I bought like a 1993 Honda Accord with smoke rolling out the engine. Windows wouldn't go down in South Florida. Hot, but I felt like I was like the man, whenever I had the scooter, whenever I had the car, because you know what? Nobody else at the halfway house had a scooter or a car. They would look at me like, man, this guy riding around with the girl on the back of the scooter, like today I'm like, wow, dude, I really thought I was something. But I worked for that money, and I bought it myself, you know what I mean? I worked hard to like buy both of those things, and I like traded in I sold my scooter to get the car, but I went from working, I went from working at the hot dog place to having a year clean, and I was a behavioral health technician at a treatment center. So I was like drug testing people, which is like completely backwards. It was weird, man. They were like having me drug test people. Like I was always the one getting drug tested. And I was a halfway house manager for my friend that owned some halfway houses, and I was running all of his houses, keeping guys accountable and making sure everything ran smoothly. So I was busy. Always put my recovery first though. And a lot of people think like, well, if I put my recovery first, I'm not gonna have time for this and I'm gonna get overwhelmed. No. You know what I mean? If you get overwhelmed, you need to get a different job because your recovery's gotta come first. It just does. I've seen it. So I just kept putting my recovery first, man. I can't express how important that is. And I went from being a behavioral health technician to being a housing director over an entire treatment center to I started accomplishing things that I would have never thought possible. Like I had no hope, honestly, no hope when I was sitting in that motel room in Motel Mary. No hope for myself. I'll never be anything. Like I'm just gonna get out of rehab and everything's gonna be the same. But I started to see other people that had accomplished things, and I'm like, wait, you used to shoot heroin, dude? You own your own business now? You have your family back in your life? Like, no way, that doesn't happen. Because, society's outlook on a heroin addict, or even some people in recovery, they think, well, we'll never be anything. Well, you know what? I'm here to stand here and tell you that, like, I'm making it. And anybody can make it. I know a lot of people in recovery. I know there's people in this room that are, like, genuinely happy today. I remember the first day I woke up and I wasn't dope sick. And I was like, wow, I feel good today. Because they told me that, like, if I came to recovery, I'd live a life beyond my wildest dreams. And I have that today. And it's not like I used to think like a life beyond my wildest dreams was like a yacht with a bunch of girls and jet skis and stuff like that. Like, that's what I really thought it was. But it really is like, I only dreamed of having my mom and my brother and sister back in my life. Like, I only dreamed of, like, being able to wake up and not be dope sick. I only dreamed of, like, being able to wake up and think, like, wow, I didn't, like, screw anybody over yesterday. Like, wow, I don't have to get high today. Like, feeling those feelings was like a life beyond my wildest dreams. It really is. And like, it just, like, my recovery just keeps progressing, man. And I've literally, if you would have asked me where I'd be in 3 years, or where I'd be like 3.5 years ago, I'd be like, dude, I'm gonna die. Like, my family's gonna bury me soon. That's, and I'm sure that's what, my mom thought was coming. That she was going to have to bury me. It's like whenever the first lady was up here speaking, I could tell when my mom's speaking and she was talking about Nar-Anon. Like, I could tell when my mom started going to Al-Anon because the Western Union stopped. And it was like, mom wasn't buying me food anymore, and like, I was in South Florida and I was like left to deal with it on my own. Like, I had to figure it out. I had to be a big boy. I didn't know how to do that. He was always like, Mom, please help me. Mom, bail me out of jail. Mom, please send me $20 and I'll come up with this crazy excuse how, like, these drug dealers are going to kill me, Mom, if I don't pay them back. Please send me money. Like, it's crazy stuff like that, man. I came up with every excuse in the book. But I can definitely tell. So if you're a family member in here, and, like, I would definitely stick around and talk to her about, Al-Anon and how you can get involved because, just like us addicts, like, it's not just like us that has the disease, it's a family disease. You know, we're not the only people that go through it. We put our families through it, and it's important for you guys to be there to support each other as well, you know, when somebody's struggling. So, you know, today I really am living a life beyond my wildest dreams. I'm the National Director of Outreach over at Comprehensive Wellness Centers in South Florida. I have a better car today, a 1993 Honda Accord. I have my family back in my life today, and you know, I have my own apartment. I have a townhouse. You know, like I have a nice home that like I can go home to, and like I can sit on my couch. You know what I mean? And like nobody can tell me to get off of my couch. You know, which is crazy because in the past I was like, yo, Nick, somebody's coming home. Like you gotta get out of here for the day. You can come back at like 8:30 tonight and sleep. You know, or like living in motels. Like I just don't have to feel like that anymore, man. And I can't say it enough that it's available to anybody. It's possible to anybody. You know, I have to remain grateful. You know, because it's really easy for me to be like, oh man, like I've spoken like 20 places this week. I'm tired. Like I gotta go speak. No, I don't have to go speak. I get to go speak. Yeah. You know? I really am, I feel great, you know, and I get to travel the entire country. I've been from California to Maine I've been all over this nation, getting to share recovery and share hope with people and in schools, and, you know, it's amazing, man, and I want to get as many people involved. Like, I have to remain grateful. Like, they say it all the time, like, a grateful addict will never use. And I truly believe that if you remain grateful and you look at the things that you do have in your life and you look at the things that you do have going for you, it's hard for you to say like, screw it, I'm leaving. You know what I mean? Because it's really easy for me to look at the things I don't have. Well, you know, like, I want this much money. I want to make this much money this year. You know what I mean? Or like, man, I don't like my pillow, or like just little things like that. Like, dude, at least you have a bed to sleep in. You know what I mean? At least you have food in your stomach, because you used to not have no food when you were out there in the streets. You know what I mean? At least I do have people that care about me today. You know, like I have so much to be grateful for, man. And it's really easy to find the little things. And I know it's hard, man. Like, recovery is not all rainbows and unicorns. You know, like, my life's not good all the time. Like, I still, you know, sometimes I struggle financially. Sometimes, like, I have a disagreement with someone and they hurt my feelings. Like, sometimes, like, somebody that I've tried to help, I've lost so many people to this. So many people. In the last 2 years that I've been doing this with Crush the Epidemic, I've probably lost 50 people. You know what I mean? Like 50, 60 people probably. And these are like people that I genuinely tried to help, but all I can do is set the tools down, and whether they pick them up or not, that's on them. You know, and it's hard to accept that, because sometimes just like my parents used to want to do, is they just want to pick me up and shake me and like, come on man, just do it right, you know? Like, I want to do that. I get angry sometimes, but I have to look at like how hard-headed I was. You know, thank God I made it out alive, but this is like no joke, man. People are dying everywhere. Yes. People are dying, and it's like people that I would have never thought, like, that, like, I've seen put together clean time, and then like a couple weeks later I see it on Facebook, rest in peace. You know, I mean, and same thing with like drinking and driving, man. Like, just a kid that, you know, I was friends with his sister that just passed away. I'm sure some of you guys have heard about it, but just passed away up in Fort Wayne, you know, from an accident. And it's just not good, man. And there is a solution. And, you know, if you are struggling, like, I'm here to help. I have the Facebook page, you know, Crush the Epidemic. You know, Darkhorse Ministries, these guys are here to help you. You know, and I found what gives me motivation today, man. It's things like this. Like, I didn't get clean to be miserable. You know, I didn't get clean to be miserable. Like, I got clean to be happy. You know, like, I got clean to like make a difference in somebody else's life. You know, it's absolutely, recovery is a beautiful thing, man. And, you know, we can't do it alone. We can't do it alone. We need each other, and it's available to anybody. So I really appreciate you guys having me come speak. I don't know, Chris, you want to come up here? Thank you.
Everyone, give them a round of applause. If that's not a message of hope, I don't know what it is. So I know the smokers in the room are about to die. I'll make it quick. I gotta send out some thank yous, man. Everyone that's a part of Darkhorse Ministries that helped us make this building happen. Gary, Carol, Skirt, oh man, Stacks, Cheeto, you guys will laugh at all the names. Food, Riz, Yvette, all your wives, all the kids, Boog, everybody. I appreciate all you guys. Boldy, can't forget Jimbo Slice and his wife for making this happen today. For those of you that don't know or might not be aware, Nick touched on it, we do try to help addicts in the area. When they come to us needing help, the fact that they're ready to get help is awesome. The fact that they're willing to have the courage to stand up and say, hey, I need help, that's even better. But then what? The resources in Illinois are extremely hard to come by. I'm not going to go on a tangent about it, but it is hard to come by. If there was a place available that day, I don't know, that's a miracle. It's unheard of. But we have found resources in other states. Comprehensive Wellness Center is a great one in Florida, but we have places in Texas. They're all over the place now, and that's our job, is to find the resources for you. Maybe you don't need inpatient, maybe outpatient will work for you. Maybe you just need to start going to meetings, maybe you need to get a sponsor, maybe your route is through Bible studies. So our goal here is to just be a light, okay? If you don't have an addiction issue, but you have a good heart, you want to help the community somehow, come here, and we'll point you in the right direction. We need all the help we can get. It doesn't matter if it's with kids, it doesn't matter if it's with addicts, inmates. We got a place for you to go to serve others and serve the community. It's really simple, I think. It gets complicated fairly often. I think the bikes throw people off, but hey, you don't have to be a biker. You don't have to have a motorcycle. You can have a scooter like Nick had. It's okay. No Hondas though. No Hondas. So I thank everybody. I want to let you know, I have to say it, we do have to pay money to keep the lights on and all that. There are money boxes, black boxes that say donations, one in this room and 3 out in that room. So if you can, you can. If you can't, no obligation, no pressure. We love you. There's always a place for you to come. Now, if anyone can stick around, please stick around. April Scales from SIH, she's going to do you a short workshop about Narcan and naloxone. Somebody you know that is addicted right now to opiates or heroin, God forbid they overdose in front of you. How many in this room know what to do if somebody's overdosing in front of you? Like 2 or 3, maybe 5. Half of you are lying. Just kidding. Just kidding. No, you need to know what to do, right? And it's not stick them in a cold bath like I've tried to do before. That doesn't work. Feeding them milk doesn't work. Milk does not work. April, did you have something?
Yes, I do want to say that I do have a limited number of free Narcan kits to give away after the training.
Awesome. So those of you that can't hear, she does have some Narcan kits. God forbid you need to use them, but it's better safe than sorry. Nella has the table set up in the back of the room. Look at you, Nick. I'm tired, bud. Now or not. All those programs are in the back, so we have information, 800 numbers, websites, all that stuff that you might need. Thank you to all the speakers tonight. Thank you for all of you for coming. Let's give them all a round of applause. Thank you so much for being here tonight. We hope to do it again soon. God bless you.